What is up, it's Vic your Hunter, and we're going to do a sample set of why I feel the Balance 2, the Amazfit Balance 2, if they don't add Biocharge back in, then it's not worthwhile when it comes to wellness recommendations, wellness and recovery recommendations, unfortunately, because I just had a night of sleep and I just sort of throwing this video together simply because a lot of times when I look holistically across a bunch of experiences with a device, sometimes I can't quite put into words one particular aspect or one realization moment. So I thought I'm just going to do a little snippet review for this realization moment for the Balance 2 on the sleep score recommendations as well as the readiness recommendations being poor or not worthwhile or even misleading in their current state. And so we'll see the Biocharge as well. So we're going to compare the last night of sleep on the Garmin, on the Whoop, on the Helio strap with the Biocharge, and then on the Balance 2. We're going to do it in that order so that we see like realistic advice and guidance, and we work our way to the Balance 2 with its wellness recommendations, recovery recommendations when it comes to sleep score and readiness. So with that, we're just going to dive into each of the devices and go from there. All right, so here we have Garmin, and on Garmin you have the body battery, which did not rejuvenate at all. So basically I had worked out for a long time in really bad heat yesterday, and I had a leg cramp that kind of bothered me all night long. And my sleep was disjointed. I was in bed for a reasonable amount of time, but you can see my body battery did not rejuvenate. I was under stress for most of the night, did not have a good recovery. And then my sleep score was still, again, I was in bed for like almost 7 hours, but it was a low sleep score. And even on the recommendation, so training readiness, on my recovery time, it added hours to my recovery time when I woke up because it was like you had bad sleep. So the Garmin's saying you can't work out as hard, you had bad sleep, your body battery is not recovered, and you need to take it a little bit easier today. So when we look at Whoop, Whoop's basic recommendation is 40%. So like I'm not ready for, great things. The sleep did not have as harsh of a score, although you can see the high sleep stress. So you can see in that middle column that it's saying like something was up and you not sleep as well. My quality of sleep was lower, although my score wasn't terrible because I got consistency and efficiency. But you can see my score when it comes to recovery on that tab is below par because my heart rate variability was low, my resting heart rate was high, my respiratory rate was high, sleep performance, it's still sort of moderate, but all of those things were negative. And so that's what it said on the Whoop. And then we go to the Helio strap, which does have Biocharge. Now, Helio strap, you can see an indication of what the Balance 2 is going to tell you. It said my sleep was 91. That's bogus, but we can see on the Biocharge finally something of value. So 48 was as recovered as I was. That compares to Garmin 42, or the highest was 44. And you can see that it recovered, but it was a low waking Biocharge. It's not the exact same, but either way, if I went in here to this overview tab, I would see 48. I would say like, okay, that's my wellness, that's my recovery, that's my sleep score, whatever you want to term it, because I would obviously ignore the sleep score in here, and it's a missing, failing function of the Amazfit family. So now we look at the Balance 2 results. So this is what I would wake up and see. I would see a 75 green readiness and a sleep score of 87. So what I would take from this is that everything is good. Now a 75 is ironically the lowest I've seen. I've gotten like mid 80s, 82 to 87 or something like that the whole time. So a 75 might seem low relative to that scale, but that's not worthwhile. That's not helpful. That's not a failing score, and a sleep score of 87 on top. Now on the daily readiness insight, this is what I see all the time. It's showing that something is a little bit off, like my body temperature is higher, but when I go into readiness, I just feel like it's basically saying, hey, you're good, you're great, but my stats are bad. My stats aren't great. And even if I was to go into heart health, it's got my heart rate variability that's not really right compared to other devices. And what they said, my resting heart rate was higher, it's true, but it's saying, again, green. Now, I have been testing this I have been using this for, now on the Readiness, it's been for a while. I got a lot of data in there. So, you know, last 7 days, past 7 days, you know, it's got lots of data, at least a couple of weeks. So either way, the simple thought is that if Biocharge doesn't come back, because we can see Biocharge was worthwhile, but the Readiness score and even the sleep score is not worthwhile on the Amazfit Balance 2 until they add the Biocharge. The wellness and recovery recommendations aren't worthwhile and very well could be deemed misleading because they're saying you're good and you're not. It's a Figure Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.